here at Barnsley Metrodome, where Players Championship 4 is about to get underway, and it's Super Chin versus Super Suits as the Scottish slinger Alan Soutar, without his tartan trousers, takes on Daryl Gurney in a repeat of that meeting at the World Championship when Soutar really took Gurney apart at the Ali Pali the back end of last year. But it's been a slow, sluggish start for Soutar on the Pro Tour this year. So far, we've seen wins for Ryan Searle, Danny Noppert as perhaps expected, but Kim Huybrechts winning his first title in 8 years here last night. Will we see the resurgence of anybody else? Maybe even Daryl Gurney, dropped as low as 26 in the world rankings, only 6 places ahead of his opponent in this opening match. I'm delighted to be joined by Dan McCarthy to commentate on.
100.
Yeah, it's a really interesting game, this. A repeat, as you mentioned, of that World Championship clash, and it was a tournament, really, where most of the 32 seeds progressed serenely, but Daryl Gurney let the side down, as you were. Has been a bit of a sluggish start to the season, though, for Suits. He's not managed to get many positive results, just one win in Players Championship 1 against Jules van Dongen, but he's a player who's rocketed up the rankings and still a very, very dangerous opponent.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great character, a great story as well. Firefighter, guide dog trainer, away from the darts, really is a man of many interests, many talents.
A man who, if he wasn't a dart player, I think he'd be winning a Pride of Britain award. He is the closest thing that possible, I think, to an actual darting saint. Absolutely.
100.
And he has got a good record, not just that win against Gurney at the World Championship. He leads the head-to-head overall 3-1. Alan Soutar actually met in their BDO WDF days more than 10 years ago. Soutar won 4-0 on that occasion.
45.
Gurney with just the one win. That was on the stage in Minehead 2021. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
63.
Yeah, if you're going to go for the ball first, you'd think you'd complete it, but Alan Soutar, early break chance, looking at 15s, and now tops.
85.
Well, the baffling decision from Gurney has paid off because Soutar didn't take out the shot, but it was on 105, not 155. All I can think is Gurney's dart, he felt completely blocked the ball and he had no chance of hitting it, rather than a sign of disrespect or anything like that to his opponent. But in the end, the leg is in the ledger, filed under G for Gurney.
Yeah, 20 darter, so you would expect the quality to increase 45 from here on in. But a hold of throw is a hold of throw. Daryl Gurney yesterday was beaten by Adam Warner in the second round of Players Championship 3. He was on the streaming board, and even though he lost the game, there were good signs from Daryl Gurney. The fact that he does seem to be looking to bring that aggression back to his game, playing with a snarl on his face, and it's that kind of mentality that took him to number 3 in the world, that took him to Grand Prix and Players Championship final wins. He's a world-class player on his day. He's just lost a little bit of that power in the last couple of years, and well, if he doesn't halt the slide, he'll be out of the top 32.
Absolutely, and maybe Alan Soutar will be waving from the car window on his way past. Did start the season well with that run to the quarterfinals of the first Players Championship event of 2023. Wins against the likes of Aspinall, Noppert, before losing out to stablemate newcomer
56.
Dylan Slevin.
Suits going for his
174.
Well, decides to decline the maximum. A 174 does leave him on a finish, but it is one that will have to utilise the bull. Daryl Gurney is the 29th seed
100
for the action today. If you're not aware of the change that's been made this year, that the seeds 17 to 32 will go first in the even-numbered Players Championship event, so they get a chance to get their games off early, so they're not having to wait around, and likewise the players 1 to 16 aren't always on
92.
first.
Well, 105 he couldn't take out in leg 1. Now he's going to try his luck with 104, Alan Soutar. And Daryl Gurney did take
56.
out double 16, as he used to do with so much regularity. This time he's going to have to rely on double 8 just above. And that becomes one dart at double 4. And the miss, all three, opens the door for Alan.
Wasted break opportunity perhaps, but Soutar needs to complete the business. Looking at tops, already missed a dart at tops, that's 2.
Game shot.
Double 10 is his friend, and Alan Soutar levels this contest. Over on the other streaming board, Jim Williams is playing the German newcomer, Pascal Ruprecht, the man that's appeared from
140.
pretty much nowhere to become a world-class darting talent. And another 14 first-round games happening as well, including Chris Dobie, who's already established 3-0 lead over
100.
Scott Waits.
Dan mentioned the seeding for Daryl Gurney as well. It's even worse than it sounds for him, even more precarious, because of course there are 3 players in the top 32 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit
100.
that are not here, which means that Gurney is right on the button now, 32nd place on the Order of Merit. So a victory here might be the difference between him keeping his seeding for the next set of Pro Tour events and not.
Absolutely, because as the cliche goes, every draw in a Players' Championship event is tough, but if you're out of the top 32 seedings, logically and realistically, you're going to be handed a tougher draw. So Daryl Gurney does need to start picking up a few more wins on the Pro Tour. Had a pretty good first Players' Championship where he got to the quarterfinals as mentioned, but first round loss against Graham Usher last Sunday and only reaching the second round yesterday. Player that needs to start making
65.
runs to the quarters and the semis of these tournaments with a bit more regularity.
And again, maybe he can take some inspiration from the likes of Kim Huybrechts, who of course was behind him in those rankings before
140.
winning that first title in 8 years. Doesn't seem real, does it? Kim Huybrechts, a man who used to pick up so many. Can Gurney return to the winner's circle? He's winning this battle so far. We will feel really that that scoreline should read 3-0 rather than 2-1.
It should, but Soutar was clinical in the last leg. Not exactly startling averages from the pair. 84.5 from both players. Sometimes there will be that first round rustiness, if you like, even though the players have been here since mid-morning doing their practice routines. First match of the day, get through that and then they'll feel a lot more settled.
134.
These two will be staying here overnight because there are a couple of Euro Tour qualifiers happening in Barnsley tomorrow. You can keep up to date with that on Dart Connect. Tournaments in Riesa and Munich. Gurney got 2 from 2 last weekend, so he'll be going to Kiel and Leverkusen.
98.
And that'll undoubtedly increase his ranking on the Pro Tour, so in a decent start to the year, all things considered.
100.
So having a look down the draw, if you're wondering about some of the protagonists from yesterday, Kim Huybrechts, he plays Luke Peters in his first round. Standout
140.
selections for me: Dimitri Vandenberg against Mensa Suljovic, a first round tie. Martin Lukman against the previously mentioned Dylan Slevin.
100.
Yesterday's finalist, Gabriel Clemens, who was walloped in that final. It will have been a bruising one for him. 3-2 up on Aaron Monk.
Game shot.
2 apiece in this game. Soutar pins double 18 for a 14 dart leg.
Yeah, you commentated on that final yesterday, Dan, and I just wondered to get your take on, do you think it's becoming a problem for
60.
Clemens when he gets to a final? Because not only has he lost all of them, but the last couple he has really been battered in them. I think winning just 1 leg in his last 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be averaging in the mid-80s, the likelihood is you're not going to win a
43.
final. And he did look a little bit flustered. I think it was when Huybrechts went 4-0 up, there was a double break, and you could see that his brow was starting to, you know, get a little bit moist. He was looking a bit red-cheeked. It almost looked like he was a beaten man halfway through the game, and he picked up a leg towards the end to avoid the whitewash, which would have been the ultimate humiliation, really, in a final. Huybrechts was very good, and he was very good clinically on his doubles, but yeah, I agree with the general point. I think the longer it goes on, particularly if he gets to finals,
100.
it could prove to be a big issue for him.
Yeah, it's played 7, lost 7 in the PDC now. The first handful were against Gary Anderson, Gerwin Price, Johnny Clayton, Peter Wright, but the most recent 3, Callan Ridge,
93.
Dirk van Duivenbode, which he lost 8-0, and then Kim Huybrechts, which he lost 8-1 yesterday. Maybe something we'll talk about more if Clemens starts to progress through this tournament.
140.
Gurney a long way ahead of this. Soutar not threatening the Northern Irishman's throw.
96.
When he starts on the bull to leave 76. It's been a few puzzling ones from Daryl Gurney in this game so far. You don't often see players start on the bull with 101, particularly as he's so far in front.
Yeah, it almost feels to me as that there's been a conscious decision to move to leave
65.
double 18 from Daryl Gurney in this game.
Game shot.
Utilise that marker expertly there to edge back ahead. Has had the advantage throughout the match. Missed 3 darts to break in leg 2, but has kept his nose in front, kept the game on throw.
Yeah, if it is a conscious decision to leave double 18, it's one that's paying off because it's a double that he generally likes to go for.
$180.
And that'll really settle him down. Maximum from Daryl Gurney, the first one of the match.
Yeah, and coming at the right time against the throw as well, so he's launching another attack
140.
on Alan Soutar's darts here.
I tell you, the first man through to round 2 is yesterday's winner, Kim Huybrechts. A 6-1 demolition job on Luke Peters. And Clemens is 1 leg away from joining him as well, so clearly not too scarred, I don't think, from yesterday's events.
Yeah, yesterday he opened with 112 average, didn't he, Kim Huybrechts? And that really did lay down the marker, give him that confidence to go and conquer all. Have to give credit to Alan Soutar in this leg. Faced a 180 opener from Daryl Gurney, but has left 81 after 9 himself.
It's been a cracker of a leg, this one. Well, 12 for an 11 darter. And now Suits might be punished wide of the mark, and Daryl Gurney 46.
Back to double 16. Well, I wonder if that is a sign that actually he has had this kind of favouring of double 18 of late.
14.
And I wonder if that was autopilot Daryl Gurney that threw the first start, and then he realised, I could have left that double.
I was convinced he was going to go for the 10 first of all, and it's another wasted chance, and Suits needs to go inside. So close to the double 6, but Daryl Gurney offered the chance to get the first break of throw.
Well, he had a little look at Alan Soutar then as well as he walked back. He won't throw until he's ready. You can see the frustration from the Scotsman, and Gurney again just looking across towards the match official Andrew Davis there. Little glance, a little sort of half nod towards his opponent. Wonder if he just picked up a few words as he was walking back from the hockey. But he did the right thing, didn't he, if that was happening? Wait until he's behind you and it's stopped, and then walk up, pitch a dart in the double, break the throw.
100.
Yeah, no darts player should throw the dart unless they feel really comfortable with their stance, with the dart in the hand, making sure there are no distractions. Not overly sure what
55.
Daryl Gurney has an issue with. Nothing obvious from Alan Soutar to suggest that he's doing anything to put Gurney off.
But in a weird way, it goes back to what you were
140.
saying down at the start of the match. It's actually strangely good to see from Daryl Gurney, because when he was at his best, he did seem to get annoyed and fired up by little things.
100.
Yeah, he carried himself with a real swagger and a real aggression, and
He positively sulked his way to some titles, didn't he, Daryl Gurney? Some memorable matches on the telly where even the great Phil Taylor before retirement said he needs to cheer up.
58.
Yeah, and weirdly, cheering up has probably been to the detriment of his darting career.
Well, there we see.
105.
Utilising that 25 segment. He has just got away, has been the better player for the majority of the match, Daryl Gurney. Missed those darts to break earlier, then punished Soutar for not punishing him to open up this 4-2 lead, and that looks like it's about to become 5-2.
Game shot.
It does, and it's a long way back now for Alan Soutar to climb.
Well, Gurney has been going through the gears in the last couple of legs. Soutar fires in a 180. It might be too little too late. He has to win 4 legs in a row. Not being a high scoring affair. Although is Gurney going to respond instantly? Not quite. He's in a really strong position now though.
Yeah, the key leg of the match, that 6th leg where Gurney was on 46 after 9 darts, and Soutar
41.
found himself on 81 after 9, but went on to miss the opportunity to take the leg. Well, it's certainly high scoring now, suddenly.
180.
Yeah, he's sprinting to the finish line now, and there's nothing Alan Soutar can do, particularly if darts are as wild as that one.
81.
Interesting, that point that Dan made earlier about the second batch of seeds, if you like, starting first. Well, so far, all of the results that have come through have seen them win.
41.
6 players through, all of them seeded between 17 and 32, and Daryl Gurney looks set to make that 7. Gabriel Clemens, James Wade, Chris Dobie, Kim Hybrex, Adrian Lewis and Cannon Ritz all through to round 2.
Match dart incoming maybe. Oh!
80.
Well, he didn't quite Robin Hood it, but he wasn't far off.
His darts are that long, if he Robin Hooded it, he wouldn't have to walk down the hockey to retrieve them.
Yeah, it's 3 javelins he's throwing at the board. Soutar
25.
can't narrow the gap, so Gurney will have match darts now. Now this is 60 from Gurney. Is he going to do his magic trick where the dart lies flat? Yes, he is.
And maybe lost a little bit of control. It went towards the 5, but he'll be happy to have left it out of the way. And that trick does the trick for Daryl Gurney, who gets the better of Alan Soutar. Maybe a little bit of revenge for that World Championship defeat. And he's actually getting a bit of advice. How do you do that, Daryl? He gets schooled here, Soutar. A little lesson from Daryl Gurney after the match, and he got a lesson during the match as well. A 6-2 success for Super Chin, an opening win at Players Championship 4. Good stuff from him, 40% on the doubles. That was the big difference in the game, and Gurney safely through to round 2, and we will be back with some action from the second round in just a few moments.